It's news time!
Are you ever going to post anything other than the news?
Yes, but not today. Wink, wink.
Are you saying wink?
Wink, wink.
Title card!
If you're a current user of the video editing features offered by the Windows Photos app, we have some bad news. Microsoft is getting rid of this feature. In fact, they've redesigned the old boring Photos app because it's old and boring. The new app is focused around photo browsing, finding, managing, and consumption of photos. Translation: Microsoft would really like you to buy some OneDrive storage.
Money.
I, for one, did not even know the Photos app had video editing capabilities. You guys know DaVinci Resolve has a free version, right?
Sponsor us!
Stock photo contributors, rejoice! Think! Getty Images and Shutterstock have both banned the sale of AI-generated images on their sites. The reason might not be what traditional photographers have hoped for, however, as legal uncertainty surrounding AI images was the given reason for this change. So rejoice! At least until these sites find their own legal loophole and start selling their own AI-generated images. Haha! And you video people, don't get so comfortable either. DAD, makers of such nightmares as live portraits, which we actually covered on this show a few years back, are back! And now they've evolved. Their new feature can create presentation videos out of a single image. It's called Speaking Portrait, and it promises to create engaging presentations without the video production cost. That's right. Tune in next week where the news will solely be presented by an AI image of myself. Last and least, product announcements. DJI released the new Osmo Mobile 6. It's lighter, smaller, and now holds your phone with a magnet. Nanlite has a new light, the FS60B, a 70-watt affordable dual temperature light priced at $179. Hollyland has a new 4K wireless transmission system. It can do 4K up to about 400 feet, and the new M1 receiver has a built-in monitor. Neat.
Yeah, it's me, Ethan, back at again with news that I find interesting because I'm the one writing it. To start us off, we're covering something we didn't get to last week about D23. The first of the major Disney Plus releases came out this week with a 3-episode premiere, Andor. The series has been a polarizing one, leading many to wonder, did we really want this? As not much interest has been really generated from the fatigued fandom. The inconsistent tonal shifts of the franchise, waning interest from the fans after so much burnout, and poorly executed and received content makes this an interesting show to watch, as it's one of the first major live-action Star Wars endeavors since the Mandalorian universe, or the sequel trilogy. Count me in with the Diego Luna fans, but count me very skeptical and burned out from a franchise so far away from my mind that I just don't really care anymore. Speaking about things I don't care about, don't spit on me, daddy. I mean, don't worry, darling, premieres this week with early reviews saying that the movie is just okay. Yep, all that behind the scenes drama builds up to nothing as weeks of our feeds have been flooded with nothing but he said, she said from a troubled film set, taboo romances and on-set feuds, and an awkward Chris Pine. It's all culminated to a pretty average and mediocre film that leaves our news cycles as fast as it came into them. I honestly don't even know that this was all for a movie. This is either the best or worst marketing campaign I've ever seen because now we'll actually see how many people go to actually see this thing.
Do you want to hate watch it though? Just a little bit?
Just a little bit. Let's hate watch it just a little bit.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
I'm escaping to the one place that has not yet been corrupted by capitalism. Space! What do you mean they're already there? What do you mean they're looking for unobtainium? What the fuck is an unobtainium? That's right, the theatrical re-release of James Cameron's sci-fi epic Avatar reportedly comes with a post-credit scene of 10 minutes from the highly anticipated sequel, Avatar: The Way of Water.
Avatar, the Water Nation.
Water. That's right, the Avatar sequel 10 years in the making. The original, released in 2009, became the highest grossing movie of all time, even when it lost the title to Avengers Endgame in 2019, but won it back a few months later. Now re-released in cinemas, fans have been able to enjoy the film again in 4K high dynamic range, pushing both visuals and sound to the film's full potential. All to see Zoe Saldana appear as one of the primary colors.
Wow, re-release, the ultimate remake.
Getty!
Ghostbusters news! Earlier this year, on the Sony lot, Ghostbusters Day festivities were held, where a sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife was announced, but little else has been said since. Well, only that director and writer Jason Reitman would return with co-writer Gil Keenan. Slated to slime theaters on December 20th, 2023, it was assumed filming would begin earlier by the end of this year. Only Production Weekly is reporting that filming isn't expected to start by next spring, meaning that codenamed Firehouse will have a 9-month gap between the first day of shooting and arriving in theaters. Now, this feels very short. We should remember that Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 both had similar production and release windows, and that the smaller budget Ghostbusters Afterlife's principal photography began on July 12th, 2019, with an original release slated for July 2020, not including the multiple delays because of COVID. Given that there's a lot of production assets built over the last few years for Ghostbusters, the shorter schedule doesn't surprise me, as it's easier to shoot for a big city like in New York than in other cities like the American Midwest and Afterlife. They filmed in Canada.
Everything's fake.
Now on to the box office reports. Sitting at number 1, say it with me kids,
It's
Top
Pikachu.
Gun.
Fuck!
Alright, we're keeping that. 2 is Bullet Train, and finally 3, Spider-Man No Way Home, the more fun stuff version. Should have been the better script version.
Ouch.
Finally, last on the agenda is the premiere this week of Friends. The mega sitcom started in 1994 and ran for 10 seasons, altering the cultural landscape of TV and creating another thing for people to yell at me for not watching. I've seen it.
See it?
No, I've seen it. I like it. It's okay. Here's a compilation of Ross being a terrible dad and the worst character. Enjoy. Well, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribe. Yes, or the cat will get you. Subscribe.
Oh no, I whispered it.
I'm escaping to the
One place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!